This is where all the action is happening. See the crowd we have for this one?
Probably the most reported event with this storm has been with the hail. We have very strong winds supporting that.
Brian, you guys have any idea what this might be?
With Chief Meteorologist Ray Foreman.
We are right in the middle of a stretch of warm days that will last into the upcoming weekend. In fact, overnight lows do drop into the 70s in most areas, but we have a quick warm-up in store tomorrow. 78 at midnight. We're still in the 80s right now. As we get towards tomorrow morning, though, about 73. The winds will start to pick up a little bit, but that's actually going to bring in more humidity. 102 for the high temperature. The heat index easily over 105 from about 1 o'clock until about 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So those are the hours that you need to take extra precaution if you do need to work outside at all. 83 for a temperature right now in Joplin as well as Lamar. We've got low 80s across much of northeast Oklahoma. A little warmer the further west you go. Still 85 right now around the Parsons area, and you add a little bit of humidity to that and it feels rather sticky outside today. We have a very dry forecast in place, but unfortunately we also have a very warm forecast. Excessive heat warning in effect for Southwest Missouri, southeast Kansas, heat advisory across northeast Oklahoma. Treat them both the same, though. The only cool spot we're going to have will be in the upper 90s, and that'll be across northwest Arkansas. Otherwise, if you have to be outdoors during those afternoon hours, that's when you need to seek some shade. Drink plenty of water tomorrow because it is going to be a very warm day once again. We have this huge ridge of high pressure in place across much of the forest states. In fact, it extends all the way out to the Rockies. You can see a few showers here, but they're taking a turn to the north, so that is not coming our way. Unfortunately for our neighbors out to the west around Colorado Springs, this is where we have some major wildfires going on. 29 wildfires across the west, but this one here is actually around Waldo Canyon, which is near Colorado Springs. We're talking right on the outskirts of town. 15,000 acres. We've got ambers that weigh up to as much as a pound, and they're being carried by 65-mile-an-hour winds to about a mile away. So this is actually starting fires out ahead of the main fire. Hundreds, if not thousands, of new fires that are starting to spread into the Colorado Springs area. 32,000 people have had to be evacuated already, and unfortunately I think this could be a real disaster on our hands as we head through the next couple of days, especially since we're not even looking at any rain out to the west. The reason for that, we have high pressure in place. In fact, you'll watch these showers, they're all moving to the north, and that's simply because they're having to go around this ridge of high pressure. This is kind of a rain block that's in place, and it's bringing very warm air underneath it, and that's going to stay with us over the next couple of days too. So not much change here. We have high pressure in place. Southerly winds tomorrow, another warm day. In fact, they're going to pick up quite a bit. Now, as we go into Friday, we will see relief moving across the northern part of the United States. It's getting closer. In fact, you'll see a few showers across northern Missouri, and this is where a cool front is. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to make it much further south than I-70 over the next several days. So 101 Friday, 98 Saturday, and we stay in the 90s, although mid-90s as we get into Sunday and Monday of next week. So not much relief here, especially from the heat and humidity, putting that heat index to around the 105 to 110 mark tomorrow afternoon.
Unbelievably warm. It's summertime in the forest states.
You know, if you say mucho caliente and you don't speak Spanish, it sounds festive, but it's very hot.
Well, I speak Spanish, but we can still make it sound festive.
It sounds festive, though. Weather guarantee for today, I predicted the high temperature to make it to 100, and we hit 100 right on the head. So the prize pack from the Eagle Drive-In is what's up for grabs, and that will go to Kendra Brammer of Carthage if Kendra calls us at 625-0292 before the end of the newscast.
And you can hear him in the background too, but there's more to this backyard. We also have this nice little garden here, and of course we have the swimming pool with a little yellow ducky in it swimming, and we're getting stuck here. Let's keep going here. I want to take you over here to the grill because this is where all the action is happening. See the crowd we have for this one? We did pretty good this week, don't you think, guys? Yeah. We've got Duke Walters over here also from Krabby's and Chatters. That was a long walk. I'm wore out now, Duke. What do we got on the grill tonight?
I got some shrimp kebabs.
This is the main course, and these are the appetizers?
You know, it's just to satisfy some of the people who didn't want to go with shrimp this evening.
Yes, and not everybody likes shrimp, and that's okay.
That's right. That's right. You can do these with chicken. You can do them with steak.
Very good. And we're going to put this recipe on the website later tonight, okay?
Sure will.
All right. We'll show you more about what's happening here in the backyard just a little bit later. For now, let's take a look at your first forecast temperature.
We've got numerous reports of debris falling around the Springfield area from storms that moved through the Joplin area. Again, as Dan mentioned, we have been declared a disaster area in Joplin, areas around the St. John's Hospital along 20th all the way to Rangeline. Numerous reports of buildings that were destroyed in that area. So once again, Eric, thanks for bringing that video in to us. We're going to continue to cover this tornado warning that we still have. It has now been allowed to expire
for, it appears to be for Grove, for the areas around Delaware County. That one has been allowed to expire, but the strongest part of the rotation with this is now moving across southern parts of McDonald County. And again, this is a very dangerous storm. We've had numerous reports of rotation within this. We've also seen it on Doppler as well, so we can tell where the storms are. We actually have storm spotters who are telling us of what they're seeing actually out there in the field. Once again, we do have the tornado warnings that are in effect for McDonald County now. That is until 8:30, so for about the next 15 minutes, if you happen to be in the path of this storm, take it very seriously. We have seen numerous areas with damage, even some reports of damage just north of Southwest City about 30 minutes ago. So some strong storms still pummeling across the county. So McDonald County, tornado warning. Get on the lowest floor of your home. A basement is preferred, but if you do not have that, at least get to an interior room and try to put as many walls between you and those 70-mile-an-hour winds that we are seeing outside right now across parts of McDonald County. Evacuate mobile homes for something a bit more substantial, and this may not sound like it makes sense, but yes, as a last resort, you can go to a ditch, lie down flat, and cover your head. That allows you to hide, so to speak, from the debris that's going to be flying around as well if you're in the path of this storm. So,
well, one of the nice things about this time of year is during the daytime it gets a little bit warm, but at night it cools off nicely, and that's exactly what's happening already. I think we're going to be into the upper 60s as quickly as midnight, so within the next couple of hours. Overnight lows actually dropping down to about 60. Some of you might start off in the upper 50s tomorrow, but when we get a little sunshine in here, temperatures will start to warm up quickly. Tomorrow afternoon's high about 83, but that's right where we were this afternoon, so almost a carbon copy of what we had for today, happening again tomorrow. Temperatures right now, some areas have dropped into the upper 60s. It was close to that anyway just a few minutes ago around Cassville, back up to 70 right now. We've got 72 in Joplin, 72 also in Miami, so temperatures cooling off into the comfort zone already. Nice weather outside. As we take a look at the satellite picture, though, we do have some clouds and a disturbance off to our south and west. It's across Oklahoma right now, but it's not making much eastward progress at all. In fact, it's getting pushed further and further to the south and east of us, and this is where we do have low pressure over the last couple of days. It's been moving right along Interstate 40, but we've had this ridge of high pressure in place that has pushed some dry air in all the way from the Great Lakes back across Missouri and even for much of Oklahoma, and it's really undercutting that moisture, so we're not seeing much in the way of rain, and also this is getting pushed further south. In fact, we have a log jam of little disturbances that are going to have to ride around this. They extend all the way across the Rockies back into the northwestern part of the United States. Eventually we'll see this pattern changing, but not until after the weekend, so some very warm weather in place for us. Meanwhile, cool weather across the northwest. This is from today. We've got some highway traffic cams here from Stevens Pass in Washington, just a little east of Seattle, and we actually have snow in the higher elevation still. 2 weeks now until summer, and they're still getting some snow in parts of the Rockies and the Cascades out to the west of us. Here's what we have for tonight, though. More summer-like weather is going to be arriving. High pressure, as I mentioned, that's been building southward from the Great Lakes region over the next couple of days will continue to keep us with an easterly wind tomorrow. That's going to hold temperatures in check, so right around where we should be for this time of year. Tomorrow's highs probably about 83 again in Joplin, 81 Stockton, Nevada at about 80, and then a little warmer as you go further south. 85 for Anderson and back into northeast Oklahoma. This is probably one of the warmer spots tomorrow. 88, I think, tomorrow in Grove. So close to 90 already. And you see that warming trend building across southeast Kansas, too. Columbus tomorrow at 82, but 86 in Parsons. Now going on into Friday, things start to change for us. High pressure moves a little further south. We're going to see southerly winds starting to build across the area, and that's going to bring in warmer weather for all of us. We're going to be back into the upper 80s, close to 90 as we get into the upcoming weekend. About 84 Friday, 88 on Saturday, and we'll add to that some humidity. So again, it's going to feel more like summer as we get into the upcoming weekend. Looks like that unsettled weather out to the west of us finally arrives, but not until Monday, Tuesday, possibly into Wednesday of next week.
By then we'll need the moisture for sure.
Yes, I think so. We're just a few days away from the last rain we had, but it's already starting to dry up.
Right, exactly. What about the weather guarantee?
Yes, weather guarantee for today, we predicted a high temperature to make it to 83 degrees. We hit 84, so that's within 3 degrees. That means we are playing for the consolation prize, and that is a prize pack from the Eagle Drive-In. That will go to Rick Stout of Neosho. If Rick calls us before the end of the newscast on this contest line here, it's 625-0292. Rick Stout, Neosho, 625-0292. We zoom in on that, you can see the storm structure that we have, and we have some very strong updrafts associated with this. Probably the most reported event with this storm has been with the hail. We have very strong winds supporting that. It's keeping the hail suspended. That's why we've had hail on the order of close to baseball size earlier this evening. I think the intensity of that is starting to decrease, but you can see just north of Centralia is where we have the strongest part of this storm. And yes, it is moving into southeast Kansas.